So let me go straight to Manisha Priyam now. Dr. Priyam, what do you think is the X factor of this election in Bihar?
Thank you for having me. First, let me paint the canvas a little better than what you've done until now. First of all, Bihar is 3 regional elections as much as it is a state election. And including in the Lok Sabha, it's been shown that one party that is not being discussed at all is the Cpiml, and the challenge that is put forward to the BJP straight head on. Remember, the important seat of Aurangabad, which was known as the Chittorgarh of Bihar, was lost to a Kushwaha of the RJD, but a lot of support from the Cpiml, Pawan Singh, etc., all defeated by Rajaram Kushwaha. Upender Kushwaha, the NDA Kushwaha, original Nitish Kumar's loyal man, Kushwaha, he defeated by Rajaram Kushwaha of the Cpiml. So on the southern bank of the Ganges, that area is also referred to as Central Bihar, I would see very keen contest. And I can also say that much of what Prashant Kishor is talking about may be consumed, but the election on this side of the Ganges is a tough one. As much as the ML knows that they have to work on the ground, the BJP also understands that Shahabad and this area, Santosh Prasad having defeated RK Singh, is going to be a very tough battle. Now, if you see, this is the area where the BJP also has had to now rely on Pawan Singh. God knows what he will deliver. On this side, I do not see much of Prashant Kishor. But the classic BJP bastions are to the north of the Ganges, Madhubani, etc. They did very well. This is the area where there's a lot of upper caste varchasva, domination. About Prashant Kishor, I may also say as a Bihari that it's important to see that after Bindeshwari Dubey, the last Brahmin Congress chief minister, we will have Prashant Kishor. Yeah. Now, Prashant Kishor
as another upper caste.
Yes, Prashant Kishor combines in himself his geography that comes from Buxar, but his appeal may lie in these areas and amongst the youth. So certainly very important, but don't underestimate the Cpiml. It's strongly rooted in a particular geography, does very well. These numbers that you see for the Mahagathbandhan.
Well, Manisha, Priyam, yeah. Dr. Priyam, it did have one of the best strike rates where, yes. You're talking about in the last election.
The narrowest margins, I don't remember the number of seats,
right?
But I think no, 5 or 7 seats
where they lost less than 2 seats, less than 500. And yes. I think there were 4 seats where they lost, which includes the 2. In all, 4 seats that they lost less than 1,000, where the margin of victory was.
Absolutely.
So that's how it came down to the wire, to give you just a small fact there. So but Dr. Priyam, would you, make your point.
Let's understand that Bihar is fighting a left classic class battle. Remember, the Lalu Yadav regime had broken the back of the IPF after the victory of Rameshwar Prasad from this famous Ara seat. The Cpiml standing by the side of the RJD, and in the lifetime of Lalu Prasad Yadav has been able to resurrect itself. Also, Jitan Ram Manjhi on the other side, who support the JDU and the BJP needed.
Dr. Priyam, just stay with us. We have our colleague, Maria, Rohit, who is joining us right now from Patna there, because lots of sudden political action right now. The minute it was announced that 4 p.m. would be the Election Commission date announcement, Rohit, keenly watching the dates because there is a basic, understanding between all political parties. They'd like to limit it to 1 or 2 phases. It was 3 phases in 2020.
Well, yes. See, the meeting that took place between the Election Commission team and the political parties day before yesterday, one thing was very much clear, that no party wanted that the election should be extended for more than 2 phases. That's very clear. In fact, the JDU, the key partner of the NDA, was of the fact that the election should take place only in 1 phase. However, BJP and RJD, they were okay with the fact that if it takes place in 2 phases also, they are okay with it, but not more than that. So there is, you can say, some sort of agreement that has been reached with all political parties not in favor of extending elections to 3, 4 or 5 phases, as has been the case over the last few years. In 2010 it was 7 phases, Preeti. In 2015 it was 5 phases, came down to 3 in 2020 due to COVID. And now because the law and order situation in Bihar is also okay, and Bihar is the only state where elections going to take place in the entire country. So there is no dearth of paramilitary forces, security forces also. So all the forces which could be available can be sent to Bihar, and that is by what we are expecting that the elections in Bihar could take place in one or maybe maximum 2 phases, as has been demanded by all political parties.
It will be interesting, Rohit, whether the Election Commission would agree for a one-phase election, because in 2020, and Sajjan, please come in as we put out those graphics, how election in fact shifted and tilted in favor of the NDA when it moved from phase 1 to phase 3. In fact, in phase 1, and I would ask the producer to put that on our television screens, there were 71 seats which went to polls, which were in 16 districts, which were Buxar, Kaimur, Aurangabad, Gaya, which is the Magad belt of Bihar, Shekhpura, again near Patna and Central Bihar, moving to the second phase. And look at the strike rate and how it changes. In the second phase, 94 seats went to polls. In the third and the final phase, which was on 7th of November, 78 assembly constituencies polling in 15 districts, and these were largely in West Champaran, Madhubani, Sitamarhi, which is seen as North Bihar. So if you look at the shift of election, look at that number. Initially, the RJD went on to win 31 seats in first phase. The final results was that its number was equally okay in the second phase, 31, but the BJP's growth is sudden. From 12 seats, it goes on to with 32 seats, and then it consolidates further in the final phase. This is where, in the second and the third phase, women outnumbered men. Women voter turned up almost like 8 to 9% more than the their male counterparts in the second and the third phase. That's why the BJP has this sense that if it is a two-phase, then they can, go back to the drawing board, ensure that their voters come out in more numbers. Sajjan, as we look at these graphics, a quick word on how the election shifted in 2020 when it was a three-phase poll.
Yes, Maria, in 2020, if we see the regional basis, you have Magad and Shahabad region, wherein in the first phase, Gathbandhan had a lead. Also because of the demography, because the core voter base of RJD, particularly Yadavs, they are in significant number. Also because of the alliance, as Manisha Priyam was saying, the Cpiml base is also into the Shahabad region. That was there. But mind it, in 2020 also, there was a bit of anti-incumbency, and in the first phase, it was there. And suddenly, the perception was constituted that RJD-led Mahagathbandhan has a probability of coming to the power, and that led to a counter polarization also. Because still the baggage of 1990, the fear, that some sort of a scenario may be. So Nitish, despite every drawbacks, every sort of fatigue, whatever you call it, anti-incumbency,
and that's evident, Sajjan. If we look at this graphics, Preeti, if you look at it in the first phase, only 6 seats to Nitish Kumar. It goes up to 16, and the best performance of the JDU comes in the final phase when women voters of Nitish Kumar come out and vote. So it's very clear that the election actually shifted. But the point that you were trying to make, Sajjan, and elaborate on that. Of course, the demographic is different, and it is very regional specific in Bihar. We are looking at 6 regions in all, and it is in the final region, which is West Champaran, Samastipur, Vaishali, Muzaffarpur, all that entire North Bihar region, but it also has a Madhepura, which is a Tejasvi Yadav stronghold. RJD stronghold.
Because of their stronghold in terms of the Yadav's dominance, numerical dominance, you also see the counter polarization. But do remember that Nitish Kumar appealed that this is my last election. Will you respond accordingly? And we had the feedback that among a great section of EBC, mind it, 2020 and 2025, what is missing? Right. What is missing is the spark for Tejasvi that you saw in 2020. He was fresh, he was young, and people differentiated him from Lalu Prasad Yadav. Perhaps it was a reposition of the faith in a leader who was claiming to speak for issues of unemployment, price rise, etc.